Okay, YouTubers, it's your boy Jay Major back up in the building again with another 24/8 Productions. Like I said before, if y'all haven't, please like, subscribe, and share my content. Today's topic of the subject is these 50-50 yards. And do you believe it's gangsters on 50-50 yards? Um, I believe it's kind of sorta. Cause what happens is through my experiences and previous experiences, also cause I've been on A yards, I've been on B yards, but I've never been on a max security yard. The closest I got to max is R&E on Broad River, which is a evaluation center. What happens is they ship you through Kirkland, and that's the evaluation center, and that's where they keep the max criminals at, the violent offenders, the really violent offenders. They have them behind the walls behind the gates with black boxes on and everything. And then what happens is when you're a younger generation, when you go past them, they threaten you. They say we're gonna rape you, we're gonna do things to you, all kind of craziness, all this and that. Now, I haven't seen any of the Crip Mac interviews, none of the interviews on the folks that came from the 50-50 yard or none of that. I haven't seen that, so I don't know anything about those interviews or anything, but I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna look at them and evaluate them and see what's going on. But yeah, so back to it. My first incident with that was in 1998. I went through shock incarceration. I was on a 1 to 6, 6 years parole, and I went through a youthful offender wild A. And what happens is you got to do the 90-day shock incarceration. So with that being said, you either do the 90 days or you can run it up to, I think they give you up to 3 months setback, so you can run it up to 180 days, which is 6 months, which is half a year. So what happens is you run up the 6 months and everything, but the simple fact is that through fights, through whatever, you might run into another rival gang member. You might run into another rival person from the next hood. You might run into anybody, so say. And also, it's also a social thing about black, white, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, all that. You do racial things. So that being said, my key objective was in 1998 was to get home. Now you do the shock incarceration on the B yard, we used to be Stevenson yard, but now they don't bring they call us Y's and they call the other ones straight timers. So the Y's got to be separated from the straight timers. So Y's can't be dealing with straight timers. Like we had we had multiple occasions where straight timers was giving us contraband. Well, that's why they keep them away from each other. So my key objective on the B yard, on the 50-50 yard, was I want to get home. I had to make it home to see I made it. Luckily, I made it 2 weeks. 2 weeks after my son was born, I got home. But what happens is on these 50-50 yards, you're gonna have violent offenders, you're gonna have non-violent offenders together. Because what that happens is they classify you by your classification, your crime or whatever, and they put you with these folks. But now, so with that being said, once they put you with this violent dude, he don't care nothing about going home, doing whatever. But you, on the other hand, you want to go home. You want to be able to caress a woman. You want to be able to go in your refrigerator. You want to be able to walk the streets freely. But behind that wall, you can't. You can't do none of that. So either you're going to roll with your affiliation, you're going to not roll with your affiliation, you're going to get down with the affiliate or the gang banging or whatever, or you're just going to suck it up and let everything ride. So you got to think, right? How many people or so-called gangsters that's on the internet or anywhere said that they held it down, that they was in fights, multiple fights? So if you're in multiple fights, right, that means you're going to lockdown. You know what happens when they lock you down. You lose your canteen privileges. You lose your phone call privileges. You lose your socialization. So now you're in the hole by yourself. And also what happens is, if it was like me, when I went through, what happens is before you even go off to the program or the yard you're gonna get sent to, you go through an evaluation center. You go through R&E, you go through Kirkland. So now they hold you at Kirkland for about, I say, 2 months, 3 months before a bed space comes available. Now, if you fight or do some craziness to this cat that don't care or whatever, now they're gonna throw you in the hole. They're gonna throw you. It's called the D dorm then. And what happens is, you go in the D dorm. Let's say you go in the D dorm for 30 days in lockdown. What happens is, as you come back from lockdown, you done miss your bed space in the prison they supposed to be sending you off to. So now you set back. You set back because you wanted to carry on business with this dude, with this other dude. You know what I'm saying? So usually, what I learned is, what happens is, you turn the blind eye or you let that go. But you can't. Some people can't let it go because they play you for a chump. They play you for a sucker, a lollipop, a shucky duck, a quack quack. So with that being said, what happens is, when I went down for the shock the first time of feeling the thing, when I went through the shock incarceration, when you first come through, the little wives, right? They savage, they wild, they as they say, they thawed off. So what they done is, in the wide dorm, they smoke roll-ups, they smoke weed. Then what they did is they bashed out all the windows, which was plexiglass. They bashed out all the windows and they made I don't want to call it, you know what? They made we gonna call it a Slim Jim. They made Slim Jims out of the windows. And a Slim Jim, what we do with the Slim Jims is you poke people with the Slim Jims. So, with that being said, I seen a Slim Jim called a sword, probably about a foot long. And my take of it was, whoa. Now, could you imagine at 20 years old seeing a Slim Jim with a sheet wrapped around the bottom of it, about a foot or two long? That's a scary occasion. Nah, it's not me. I'm using it. I can't say certain things on the internet, so I'm referring to a weapon as a Slim Jim. Okay? A weapon. Okay, yeah, you right. It's me. But back to what I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted. Um, oh yeah, so that's what happens. So what happens is, right, you get classified, you get in here with all these thought on people from around multiple ways. Now I take it, this is my first time on an extended vacation from society, or actually, honestly, going to a prison. So with that being said, you know what my key objective is to make it back home in time. So now, so now, with that being said, I'm trying to get home by any means necessary. So now I might have to turn a blind eye, or I might have to deal with different folks, different strokes, people that's aggravating, that's getting on my nerves, that's doing craziness. So I had to let all that go out the door. Now, my thinking is, right, if I had to put that to the gate, put that to the side, and let these people ride, or let them play me for a punk, how many people do y'all think did the same thing? Because if they was fighting and knuckling up and doing what they said they was doing, out of all them fights, Why they didn't never go to lockdown? Why did they get out on time? Why didn't they good behavior get taken? And also, you can't have a job in any camp if you're a violent offender or if you're doing the business like you say you're doing or you claim you're doing. You can't. You sure enough can't by far. Y'all excuse the lighting. I'm I'm out here enjoying the beautiful scenery in my yard, so that's what it is. But yeah, you can't. They won't let you. They won't let you. So what happens is, let me give you a prime example. Okay, I got shipped off to the yard, and what happens is, no, I didn't get shipped on that one. I lied. I'm sorry. I did the 3 months at Stevenson Yard at a B yard on Broad River through the shock incarceration. I did that 90 days, and once you do the 90 days, they release you. So you got to go and be on parole for 6 years, after you get released. So through that 6 year span, what happened was I got revocated. I revocated 2 years later. 2 years later. And when you get revocated, what happens is you got to go back through the system. So I take it. I think I was 20, going on 21 when I did the shock incarceration. So after doing the shock incarceration, I come back on a revocation at 22, I think 22, 23. I think I was 22 going on 23. Now this is, I want to say around 2001. Now what happens is, now with that being said, I'm a chief here and there, I've been chiefing since like 15 years old. So they put me in a drug rehab program since I was failing urinalysis tests on my parole. So what happened with that is they put me in we call it a junkie dorm. They had an A side, they had a B side. They had Wabu A and Wabu B at Turpinville, South Carolina. Now what happens is with that is, right, the A side is for the youngins and the B side is for the grown folks. So what happens is when you're on the A side, once you become an adult, they switch you over to the B side, the Wabu B. Now, what happens is they had Takow dorm and Elliott dorm, and it was another dorm I can't remember. Now, the Takow dorm and the Elliott dorm, they had the young side, then they had the adults over here. And they called the Elliott dorm the jungle. I was like, I'm glad they didn't put me in the Elliott dorm. I'm glad I'm over here with these junkies. Now, what happens is when you go through these programs, right, you got to walk a tight line. You got to be on the one. You can't get caught up in nothing. You can't have no drugs. You can't have no contraband, none of that. And if so, they're going to take away, they're going to set you back. And then after they set you back, they send you to another prison. Oh, wow. They send you to a worse prison. But fortunately, it's a blessing that I didn't get to experience that part of the game. But I can tell you what I experienced through my part of the game. Now, okay, with me being for the 10 and a half months in Wabu B, I had to write essays, I had to write seminars. I had to write essays, I had to stand up in front of the class and hold seminars and read and everything and all that. Also, I had this counselor. What was her name? It was Jasmine or Yolanda. I can't remember her name exactly, but oh man, she held it on your boy. She held it on your boy super, super hard. So you can also the counselors can also hold you back. They also can stop you from progressing. So me and her got into, we bumped heads. She made me write extra essays, do extra work, all that, the third. So I sucked that up. Now also take it. Now I get roommates, they come and go. And what happens is, right, once you graduate the program, you leave. You get on through. And then you get another cellar, you get a roommate. When you first come in, you're on the top bunk. You're on the top bunk. And then, so now what happens is after your cellie leaves, you get the bottom bunk. Now what's happening is you the OG of the room. So now When the next man come in, he got to abide by your rules, or he got to, y'all discuss the whatever. Now for months in, you're gonna be roommates. You're gonna be around. I think I think in the dorm it was like maybe 100 of us in the dorm, and you got multiple people from multiple counties, multiple states, all around you. So now you only got 10 and a half months. You're on the 50. Hello, how y'all folks doing? Great, great, great. Now, you're on the 50-50 yard, and half of you probably want to go home, half of you don't. So I ain't risking my going home for none of that. So I do have a couple homeboys. I did grow up with affiliations. You know what happened with affiliations? Affiliations is like the hands of one is the hands of all. So if you affiliated with them, you going down with them. So you not, if you want to go home, right? Let's say you see over there, you see your homeboy getting into it, or he getting jumped or whatever, or you got to handle a situation. Now take it. Am I gonna go handle that situation, or am I gonna go home in 10 and a half months? If I go and handle that situation, you know what's gonna happen to me? After it's all said and done, after they kick me out the program, now I got to go do. They can hold me up to 3 years on my 1 to 6. Now, do you actually think I'm gonna crash out? I'm gonna crash out and lose my right to be at home with my peoples? No. But if I get pushed to the fact, it is what it is, I will crash out. But I'm gonna tell you why I know that these folks, they lying about saying they crashed out, they was fighting every day, they was doing this and that every day. Cause for the simple fact is, my roommate for the 10 and a half months while I was locked up, he stole a pack of batteries from me. Now I knew he did it, cause for the simple fact is, he was on lockdown for 4 days. Nobody came in or out of the room but him and me. And when you're on lockdown, all it is 23 and 1. You're on lockdown for 23 hours. You come out for 1 hour to go shower, to shower for 30 minutes, and to walk around for 30 minutes. Then it's back off into your cell, and the cells ain't no bigger than a room in your house. It's a room in your house. It's a cell about big as the room in your house. It got a bunk bed bolted to the wall. It got a steel toilet in the corner, which you don't spit in the sink when you spit in the toilet, where you wash your hands, wash your face, and wash your bowls and everything. You wash it in the sink. So I could have hit that dude in the head with a lock and a sock. I wanted to bad, because it's about the principle. I hate a thief. I hate a freaking thief to the fullest. But it's all about the principle. But you know what? And then what's crazier, the gentleman, he was from Sumter, South Carolina. I'm from Sumter. This dude, I'll never forget him. His name was Buck. And he had a piece, his whole right earlobe was bit off. He said he got into it with one of the dudes that was dating the mother of his children. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if that was for real or what happened with that, but who knows? But so after this, I got pressed by a bunch of my homeboys. Matter of fact, it was only 10 of us in the dorm I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, and 9 more people was from Columbia, South Carolina. We call it the Metro, man enough to rule others. So with that being said, they was like, yellow boy, you need to hit the dude over the head or do something to him to make him know the feeling that you can't be doing that. As bad as I wanted to, as bad, I had to back off. Because if I would have did something to him, 1, I would have caught another charge. 2, they would have shipped me off to another yard. Now I believe what they do is they ship you, back then it was Trenton or Wateree. They ship you off to Trenton. The Trenton too. Man, I heard stories about Trenton. The food terrible. All penitentiaries penitentiary food is terrible. But it's super terrible when they ship you off to a lockdown place or whatever. So I wasn't trying to risk that. I know peoples around me, they not risking going home. If you do risk going home, you ain't got nothing to go home to. They either gonna kill you when you get home, you're gonna be jobless, or you're gonna do some craziness to come back. Come back. Man, they used to come back with the paperwork saying, hey man, y'all remember such and such, aka Biscuit, got killed 2 weeks after he left. Wow. Got killed 2 weeks after he left. What else? What else was I gonna? What else? Wow. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. You're not trying to risk going home or not seeing your peoples. So either you gonna get down or you gonna lay down. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you're not trying to go to no worse yard or nowhere else where something else could get done to you. You're gonna be away from your peoples or whatever. It is what it is. With that being said, and also with your affiliations to these peoples and whatever. I don't know how it is in any other prison or whatever, but every yard I've been through, uh, I've been to Watery, I've been to Tuberville, I've been to Trenton, I've been in the county jails. We had a county jail down here that was freaking terrible. Really, really freaking terrible, folks. Uh, but outside that, like I said, when you get there, you ain't trying to violate, you ain't trying to be in the hole, you ain't trying to lose. And what's crazy is I heard people call them spreads, but we call them setups. And what happens is you and your cellie make setups, and y'all invite the community in, and y'all contribute, and y'all make a big feast, a big setup, or whatever. Or you just don't you just don't partake, and you don't deal with folks because they from the other side or they from the other neighborhood. So you don't deal with them. So you basically blackball them, you shun them. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, back to the thing with that, I don't think half these peoples that said they gangsters, they wasn't real gangsters while they was behind that wall. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't real about that. Also, okay, now when I came through on my second go around, I went in '98, didn't make it back to 2001. So that being said, once you first come through, right? And what happens is, like I told y'all, the little jitterbugs, they banged out all the windows, they knocked out. So the dorm is freezing. During the summertime it's hot, when the wintertime it's cold. I'm talking about you gotta sleep with your coat on, you gotta sleep with your shoes on. Who wants to deal with that? Who wants to go for that? Who wants to go through that? So when I got through, what happens is when they walk you up the walkway, you come into the dorm, you got a bunch of cats, and they yelling out the window, oh, we gonna take your bag, oh, we gonna do this, that to you, oh, new fish, new fish, new fish. So when I got there, you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking in my mind, y'all ain't taking nothing. Y'all ain't taking nothing for me. I'ma crash out if I got to. Cause this time with being yeah, this is before the 10 and a half months before I got there. I'm backing up, my bad, I'm going back. So I hear a faint voice calling my name. Hey Just, what you doing in here? I'm looking around. Now take it, they done bashed out all the lights and everything in the dorm. So it's dark. So that being said, it's my homeboy Amp Prophet. May he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Hey, stick your hand out. So he dropped some blue mist in my hand, and at the time we was calling them birds. They top rolling papers. He dropped half a bird in my hand. So I looked, and he gave me like 5 matches. So he told me peel the matches in half and make 2. So that's what I did. So that being said, what happens is they con you and swindle you out your bag, your envelopes, your soap, your pen, and your papers. And what happens is, right, back that time, back in 2001, you could sell your envelopes for roll-ups. You could sell soap for roll-ups. And what it is we call them birds. And I think it's 32 or 36 ounces of a top rolling. So you get the top, you get the rolling papers, and you get the tobacco. And you make a roll up without a filter. Now, what happens with that is, right, you don't get the papers in there, you get the blue mist. Because the inmates the straight timers ain't gonna give you the rolling papers with it. So you gotta roll it up in blue mist. And you also gotta make a wick. And what a wick is you roll up a long piece of toilet paper, you set it on fire, and the wick burns all day. So you through the wick. So with that being said, who wants to crash out and lose their rights to go home? I didn't. So, I partake in it. Now, what also happened with that being said, I got cool. Me and my homeboy AP, he was cool with the COs, right? So what he did in return is he got me to be a runaround. So now I can freely motivate and run around the dorm. With that being said, I'm not gonna crash out, do nothing to nobody, because now I have access to come and go as I please. My cell is unlocked. You know what I'm saying? So my cell being unlocked, I think my homeboy AP, what happened is since me and him was super cool and super tight, he left the pack on me a couple times. He left a couple good CDs on me. Couple great ones. And you know what the first time he said to me when he gave me the CDs, he said, "Damn, Just, where you put the CDs at?" He said, "You're supposed to have them available. The CDs at any given time, you're supposed to be able to break them in half. You're supposed to be able to step on them, get rid of the CDs." So, okay, that was a lesson learned. Now, what happened is he had put 3 birds on me, 3 packs of top papers on me. Well, man, so what happened is we got a couple other local jokers that came through from the Met. So what happens is you show love to your peoples, And I showed love to this cat from the Met. You know what in return he did to me? He stole 2 birds from me. Now, this how I know folks won't crash out. They won't do. He stole from me. I hate a thief. Now, when I gets back to the dorm, I noticed it was gone. I let it be known that somebody came in there and did what they did. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't pinpoint and put my finger on the one that did it. But what happened is I ain't finna crash out for you for no easiness, because I want to go home. So what happened is another dude, we call them fish heads in there. We call it the Geechies. We call them fish heads, them boys from Charleston. And I don't know what's going on with Charleston, but it's something going on with them folks. I don't know, it might be something in the water. The water might be contaminated, but they be like, "Aye, boy, I rob, I steal, I box you, boy." I like, "Yeah, boy, I stab you in the neck with this pencil." That's what I do. What I do, you do you something. You know what I'm saying? You can get it with this pencil, or better yet, you can get the Slim Jim. You can get the Randy Macho Man Savage. You can get that. But what happens is the Geechee was bragging about he did it. So you know what you do in return? I hate I did it. I ended up apologizing to the young man when I got to the yard, but you get doused with urine, you get urine thrown in your face, you get feces thrown in your face, you get magic shade thrown. We didn't have access to the magic shade then. You get all these done to you. So yeah, I got my man with the urine. I got him with it. But come to find out he wasn't even the one that did it. That goes back to my point of saying a being is you're not gonna crash out. These people said they was doing this or that on a 50-50 yard. You're not gonna crash out and lose your good time, lose your cell phone, your phone privileges, your canteen privileges, or being in lockdown solitary confinement. You got to be some thorough ass dude to be in a room locked down in a room that's half the size, a third of the size of your regular room that you're in. A room that's about big as a bathroom. Could you imagine being in a room a little bit bigger? No, yeah. Matter of fact, it's the size of a bathroom. You got one bed in there, and it's the size of your bathroom. Could you imagine being locked down by yourself 24/1 in a room big as your bathroom? That's terrible. That's real terrible. With that being said, I don't believe none of the people that said, I don't believe half the stories of the people that said they did this or they was crashing out while they was there. Because if you would have crashed out, you'd have been there for a long time, a super long time. But, I mean, that's my opinion on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. If y'all think that it's OGs or gangsters that's in there that's going to crash out or whatever, or did what they was going to do, or do y'all think that they wasn't what they bragged about or said they was doing? Okay. Well, with that being said, it's your boy Jay Major, back with another 24/8 Productions. And like I said before, if y'all didn't like, share, or please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Till next time, peace. It's your boy Jay Major.